Welcome back to the channel, guys. We are cooking Gordon Ramsay's lentil and butternut squash soup. If you see, I have oil and butter in my pan here. I've added some chopped onions. I just want to cook this in this large pan here for 2 to 3 minutes. I can really smell that butter and that cumin seed come through. And I'm just softening up this onion, toasting up those cumin seeds, releasing their oils so they can add delicious flavor into the soup. I'm adding 5 centimeters of ginger, 4 garlic cloves, and a Thai bird chili that's been blended in a food processor. And we're just letting this cook together for 2 to 3 minutes on this medium heat. That is smelling aromatic. That is smelling good. This should have a lot of flavor. To this recipe, we're gonna wanna add a teaspoon of mild curry powder and cook this for 2 or 3 minutes. I'll go ahead and keep mixing this so it doesn't stick. It is feeling prone to do that. And because of that, I want to make sure that I'll probably rotate my pot here. And I have it on low enough temp, so I just want to keep it moving. I don't really need to lower the temperature. This is really sticking to the bottom of the pot here, but it's not burning, so I don't really think that's a problem. It's just toasting up the curry powder, which I see as a positive. So this has been cooking 2 or 3 minutes. We're gonna go ahead and go with the butternut squash. Just start peeling your squash. Okay, when we're working in the kitchen, always try to work into something and out of something. So I'm just gonna whack that by. Beautiful. This is cut in half. I wanna take out the seeds from the inside. So I have a very, very big squash here, and I'm only gonna need half plus, I'd say a little bit more of this one. I'd say about that much. That should be enough for our recipe here. We're doing 1 centimeter dices on this. So we've been cutting these into 1 centimeter dices. I like to do this almost like it's a cantaloupe. So it's just easier to work with. And then they're just those ugly pieces, just whack them up. They're gonna cook with everything else. This is all blended. This is no stress here. This is a soup. This is easy peasy, lemon squeezy, as they say. That we cleaned up earlier. Get that all in there. All right, so I'm gonna go in with 1.2 liters of chicken stock. If you wanna make this vegetarian, you could just use vegetable stock. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna crank my heat on this. I'm gonna bring it to a boil. We are at a boil. We're gonna be adding 250 grams of red lentils in here to cook for 10 minutes. The recipe does not say anything about turning this down. So we just keep it on this high heat and let this go. While my lentils are boiling away, I'm gonna put 250 milliliters of this coconut cream into a small bowl. And then I'm gonna whisk this until smooth. This is my first time whipping coconut cream. I'm not exactly sure what they mean by smooth, but this looks smooth. So I think maybe we're on track. This looks smooth to me. Out of this 250 milliliters, I'm gonna be saving 6 tablespoons. So go ahead and give what I think is 6 tablespoons here. I think that should be all right. And then the rest of this we're gonna be adding into the soup in a moment. This has been at a rolling boil here for a little bit. The chef in me really wants us to turn this down, and I can't help myself. We gotta turn this down a little bit. Okay, we have been cooking away here for 10 minutes. You see how much this has thickened up. We are going to go in and add that coconut cream from earlier that we just got done whipping till it was smooth. Woo! We're gonna go ahead and bring this down in temp, I do believe. That has changed a lot. That I did not know what was gonna happen when I added this coconut cream in here. It looks cool. It smells really nice, rich and coconutty. That curry smell in the background. Ooh. The heat has been brought down on this. Coconut cream is in, so now all we're doing is just gonna cook this until that butternut squash is soft and the lentils are soft. I'll give that a taste now to see where we're at. In 5 minutes, we're gonna be there. So I'm gonna let this cook for 5 minutes on that kind of reduced heat. While the soup is finishing cooking, what we're gonna do is we're gonna heat up some oil to make this oil garnish. I have 3 tablespoons of this olive oil. I'm sorry, that's 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Once this heats up, we're gonna add in our cumin seed, then we're gonna add a little bit of curry powder. This should have curry leaves. I couldn't find any fresh curry leaves, so we're just gonna have to do without. And most likely, if I can't find it, you might have a hard time finding it as well. Oil's pretty hot. Let's go on with our cumin seeds here. And that curry powder. So this is good enough. We just want to get it in there hot, stir it around a little bit, and then we pull it from the heat. We have been cooking here for an additional 5 minutes. It's looking good. I think everything is looking soft. Oh yeah, that's nice. We are good to go here. I'm gonna turn the heat off. And then we're gonna use a stick blender to blend this. Let's get blending. If you do this, careful, it's hot. Check our consistency. See where it's at. Now it looks nice. It's soupy. There's still some kind of chunks in there, so I can, yeah, there's still a couple pieces in here, which I don't mind, but I think I'll go ahead and blend it just to get it perfectly smooth. And before I do, I know I'm gonna need some salt in here, so I'm gonna go ahead and salt now. And I know I've said it before, if you don't have an immersion blender in your house, get one. The link in the description on Amazon. It's not crazy expensive. It's so good. All right, I think that's where we want to take this. So let's get our first taste here. Okay guys, we're gonna mix it up on the channel a little bit. You know, I do the taste rating and I do the pita rating, but we're gonna tier rate this. And I thought this was a good idea because if I'm cooking a lot of recipes out of one cookbook,
That way we can see, once I'm done cooking, 20 or 30 recipes from a cookbook, we can see how many S tier, A tier, B tier recipes are in this cookbook, and maybe that becomes a cookbook that's worth investing in and purchasing for your home and cooking out of yourself. I can see, if you like curry on a cold winter day, I can see this hitting the spot, especially if you're vegetarian. You can make this without chicken stock. So, recipe, B tier. I would put the taste rating at like a 6 or 7 and the pita rating at about like an 8 out of 10. Just some recipe instructions I didn't like, and also the need for asking us to get curry leaves, which I don't really have. I think you could just put a little coriander on top and it'd be okay. So, that's it, guys. I'll see you in the next one.